Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Spring Community Advisory Council meeting. I'm Dr. Kimberly Mayfield, Dean of the School of Education and Liberal Arts. I also serve as Vice President for External Relations and Strategic Partnerships. There have been some changes in the School of Education and Liberal Arts just this spring. So it is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to our new credential analyst, Risha McCormick. She joined Holy Names in January. She has over 20 years of experience as a credential analyst. She has worked at one of our local California State universities. Her email address is credentials@hnu.edu. We have her on a part-time basis right now. We're hoping to make that more permanent for the next year, but we're so excited for Risha McCormick to be working with us. She is primarily virtual, so if you want to meet her or say hi, you can send an email to credentials@hnu.edu, and she'd be happy to have a Zoom conversation with you. So as you heard me say, the School of Education and Liberal Arts, just a word about that. We have undergone a reorganization at the university, which started in fall of 2021. We went from 4 schools to 3 schools. And so we now have the School of Business and Applied Social Sciences, the School of Education and Liberal Arts, and the School of Science, Allied Health, and Nursing. Prior to this reorganization, we had a School of Liberal Arts. So faculty from the School of Liberal Arts have been shared with primarily the School of Business and the School of Education. The School of Education probably received more faculty, hence the change in our name from the School of Education to the School of Education and Liberal Arts. So there were changes at HNU regarding the structure from 4 schools to 3, and there were also notable institutional changes. So Dr. Kim Bowers, who previously served as the Dean of the School of Liberal Arts, is now serving as the interim provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. Very recently, we hired a new Vice President for Finance and Administration, Rob Kennard, who had that position, served for 5 years. He is no longer at Holy Names. He's returned to Dominican. And Dr. Janine Hawk is now serving as the Vice President for Finance and Administration. John Hoffman is the Director of Institutional Research. Catherine Marshall is the Associate Director of Graduate Admissions. And Asandra Dalton is our Graduate Admissions Counselor. In the School of Ed, as I noted earlier, I now also have a Vice President position, which is for External Relations and Strategic Partnerships, in addition to being the Dean of the School of Education. In the fall, we welcomed Dr. Jennifer Obida into our fold, and she serves as a faculty member and the assessment coordinator. Dr. Chiho Sawada is now the program coordinator for interdisciplinary studies. Dr. Nirali Jani, who had previously been the credential coordinator for multiple subjects and single subjects candidates, is now the program coordinator for one of our undergraduate programs, which is the Liberal Studies program. And once again, Risha McCormick is now serving as our credential analyst. There are changes that are going to be implemented starting in August of 2022 to the Education Specialist Mild Moderate Program. It is now referred to as Education Specialist Mild Moderate Support Needs Credential versus Mild Mod versus just the mild mod credential. Now it has the support needs. So you'll see on the screen a side-by-side analysis of our current program and our revised program. So I'm not going to go through each category at this time, but what I will say is for those of you who've been with us for a while, the new program looks more like the old program before we revised it to the current program. So some of the changes are that all mild support needs candidates will take a curriculum and instruction in mathematics course and a curriculum and instruction in reading course. Those are new in that they're required for all of our candidates, regardless of if they're pursuing the single subject pathway or the multiple subjects pathway. They all take the curriculum and instruction in mathematics, and that's for general ed, and curriculum and instruction for reading, that is general ed. In the SPED curriculum, they have special education versions of those courses. Based on new standards, we saw the need for all of our candidates to have the framing of that content for general ed students, and then be able to modify that content to meet the needs of students who receive services under mild mod support needs. So those, I would say, are the biggest changes. Something else that our mild mod support needs candidates will have to do is the California TPA. And as that is getting approved, we have support and resources in place so that the students are able to successfully pass the California Teacher Performance Assessment for teachers who will be working with students with mild to moderate support needs. All right, so the School of Education and Liberal Arts is currently in the accreditation season. So what does that mean? We are taking a very deep dive into everything we offer and making sure that it is aligned to the teacher performance expectations at a level that it is clear to anybody who looks at our course syllabi. They can see where candidates are introduced, where they practice, and where they are assessed on the California TPEs. There are two sets of TPEs. There are universal TPEs, which primarily are designed for our general ed candidates, those who are receiving the multiple subjects credential and the single subjects credential. Our mild moderate candidates have an additional set of TPEs, which are mild mod support needs TPEs that are woven through their courses and content, and they must show that we must show that they've been introduced, they are practicing, and they are being assessed on it. It's important for you to understand, our Community Advisory Council members, to understand the kind of work we're doing, because it impacts the education our students are receiving, and there will be changes that we make this summer to our course syllabi so that we are in complete alignment for the 22-23 academic year. That gives us a year to implement and to tinker to make sure that everything is running smoothly. We anticipate that the Commission on Teacher Credentialing will do a site visit in spring of 2024. So it's great that we are doing this deep dive now. We know they're coming. This gives us a lot of time to get things right and to institutionalize all of the best practices around the teacher performance expectations. So other news for the School of Education and Liberal Arts include that we are graduating our first cohort of Bay Area Teacher Training Institute candidates this May 2022. So we're very excited about that. We currently have 3 cohorts of Batty candidates, which total 90 credential candidates. So thank you so much for partnering with us, Batty. And about 30 of the 90 will be completing their program this spring and participating in commencement. We are in year 2 of a partnership that we have with Alameda County First Five and the Lincoln Families Foundation. And that partnership created a program called Healthy Engagement Legacy and Learning Academy at Holy Names. We are working with families who have children 0 to 5. We offer 2 courses, one in the fall, one in the spring, for the parents. And when the parents complete both classes, it unlocks an admission to Holy Names for their 0 to 5-year-old students. So it's the earliest admit program likely in the country. So we're very proud of that. This is a picture of the face-to-face celebration last year, and Brad Henry is there. Our most distinguished alum, District 3 Council member for Oakland, Carol Fife, is there. Next to Carol is Interim Provost Kim Bowers, and then yours truly. And so we were cheering the graduates along. It was a sort of like a carburation. I am also really excited to share with you that Holy Names is serving as the fiscal agent for a grant from Oakland Natives Give Back. It is to sponsor parent cafes that are run by Oakland Parents Together, Henry Hitz and Mona Trevino, and the parent cafes are being held for the Brookfield community. It's a way to engage with that parent community as they are going through the threat of their school being closed this academic year. So we're very excited to be partnering with the Parent Cafes Initiative, as well as Oakland Natives Give Back, to make this important work happen. And many of you know that there are several schools slated for closure in the Oakland Unified School District for this academic year and next academic year. And you also know that Holy Names is the home of educator activists. So many of our students and some of our faculty members, Drs. Epstein and Johnny and myself, have been engaged in the activism to prevent the school closures. Dr. Epstein has made a clear connection between the erasure of the African-American presence in Oakland, the slated closure of schools with 30 or more % African-American students, and the desire for John Fisher and company to put a ballpark at Howard Terminal, which is where the longshore workers work. So the ILWU Local 10 is in alignment and solidarity with this movement to prevent the school closures. We see it as part of a larger plan around gentrification and really changing the demographic landscape even more dramatically for Oakland. There is research coming out of Stanford right now that is showing that when you close a school that serves Black children, it accelerates gentrification in the community. And so we were organizing, talking to people. If you're at all interested in getting involved, please email us at Holy Names University and we can invite you to things and put you in touch with the movement. Now, in addition to your activism, what we need from you are things that we always need from you, and they are referring supervisors to us to supervise our candidates in field placement. We do have the job posted on our HNU website. So direct people to the HNU website and have them look for university supervisors. We always need university supervisors at every level, elementary, middle school, high school, and for our mild mod support needs candidates. And in addition to university supervisors, we also need you to help us identify credentialed teachers who are doing great things in their classroom to serve as sites where we can send our HNU candidates to observe teachers, and perhaps those teachers can serve as cooperating or mentor teachers when we have candidates who want to do student teaching placements. We also need the names and emails of community members that you think would enjoy participating in our community advisory council meetings. We need community members in K-12, teachers, administrators, human resource people to partner with and to also give us feedback for program changes. Historically, we've shared how our students were doing on their classroom observations overall, as well as their final observations. And so where there are areas of need, we really welcome the voice of people who are on the ground in districts and classrooms. So please refer community members that you think might benefit from participating and who would be value added to our ongoing efforts to have the best program ever. All right, thank you so much. If you have any feedback, please email it to Brad Henry, who is our coordinator of operations and student support. His email is henry@hnu.edu. Thank you for watching.